What's up everybody, Brett here, and we are back in Battle Brothers. I'm excited. I did some things off camera, and I wanted to show you before we jump into the actual gameplay here. So this is what I went ahead and did. If you see the name here, that's pretty much the gist of it. I went ahead and named most of the characters. We had a few name requests in the comment section, so I honored those, and I tried to give people who request names, especially if they're subscribers. I want to give you a good character. I don't want to put an amazing name on someone who has just awful stats. So let me show you what I did. Greenphobe the Ballless, named such because he has a fear of greenskins, and he's a eunuch. So just at quick glance, a lot of times you'll get 12 brothers right. They have all these different, kind of strange names, and it can be hard to remember who's who. So now, at a glance, we know exactly who this guy is. He's the Fear of Greenskins having eunuch, and we have a general idea of what his stat line is going to be. This is Hungry Two-Timer, named such because he is gluttonous and disloyal. So, yeah, there you go. Burnfried the Solid, he was already named Burnfried. We gave him the Solid because he has triple stars and hit points. So I thought that was an appropriate title for him. Gunburnt is a brother, and we're going to hold off on naming him for a while. Yeah, he's a good character. We don't need to give him a funny name. And this is a name from one of our new subscribers, Iracel Darkhar, the Phoenix. And I feel like I've seen this name somewhere before in maybe an older fantasy book. I used to read a lot of fantasy when I was younger. I haven't picked up a fantasy book in a while, but for those of you out there who are interested in that kind of thing, I used to read, I read Robert Jordan, G.R.R. Martin, obviously, and of course Tolkien, but I also would read R. Scott Baker, as well as Steven Erikson was one of my favorites, and Raymond Feist, R. Salvatore, I mean, just tons, right? I read lots and lots of fantasy, so I came across lots of fantasy names, and this is just striking me as potentially from one of those book series, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but cool name, cool suggestion. Thank you. I think your name was Nathan. So thank you, Nathan, for the subscription. I really appreciate it. And here we have Scaredy the Blind, because he is craven and night blind. Thought that was also appropriate. I left Edgel the Arrowmaker alone, because to me, he's almost like a meme in and of himself. This dude misses almost every single shot he takes. And, yeah. Not high on you there, Edgel. Raymond, we gave him the Pike. He is a brother. He does, unfortunately, have Hesitant. And we can potentially rename him later if we get someone in the comments that would like to have a crossbow, pike-wielding character. And we have Bad Eyes Crown Pincher, because he is night blind as well as greedy. So he's kind of like a greedy, money pinching, poor eyesight having dude. And of course we still have Hondo the Brutal. And Iracel Darkhar, if you're wondering, Nathan, if you're out there watching this video, I gave you this character. This was the Butcher. He has decent stars here in his melee skill. And I'm envisioning your character as a sword wielding, really intense guy. And we're going to perhaps remake him if we ever visit a barber, and we'll make him look pretty cool. And whenever we get like top tier bladed weapons, we'll be sure to pass them on to your guy. Okay, so something else off camera, I just went ahead and moved from Eichenberg to Horngard, which is a keep, and because it's a keep, we can't take contracts from here. We're not liked enough by the noble house, but I did want to showcase that there's a new event, I guess you could call these, in this town that I haven't seen before. It's called Mustering Troops. So it says the order has been given to muster troops for service in this settlement. Equipment and recruits are in short supply, but a quick crown can be made by selling arms and armor here. So I could just imagine having this as well as something like Well Supplied or some of the other trading buffs, and you could probably just hold on to a ton of arms and armor and come here and just make a fat profit selling things. So we need to get a fully repaired shield up so that we can gauge like trade ability. And I'm not gonna, let's see, we can prioritize this once we get out of this menu. But I also had to go ahead and buy some arrows. We were nearly out on ammunition. And so we don't have a ton of gold. We have 3 days worth of provisions, and we don't have a quest. So I think I'm going to sell this hatchet, and I'm going to sell 1 shield and 1 spear. And then if we get to the next town and we still don't have a quest, we're going to look to sell off our gossamer as well as our poison glands. I want to hold on to the adrenaline gland because I have no idea what we can use that to craft. Potentially paint. Maybe this is a paint ingredient. I think the poison glands were able to make different colors of paint, like green and yellows and stuff. So maybe this will make us red and other colors. But anyway, guys, that's kind of what I was looking at here. There was some decent men to hire. There's a squire here, which can be decent. They take a lot of gold and upkeep. Yeah, not really much to pick up because all the arms and armor are being used for the war effort. There's really nothing for us here. This may be a good city for us to come back to in the future because they do have an armor and a weaponsmith, and those are pretty valuable cities. You can end up late game when you're just swimming in gold and you're just looking for like a legendary sitting in an item shop somewhere. We could come up here and probably get something good. So I think we're going to head down here to Brookstadt, and that's going to lead us through the wilderness, and maybe we'll be able to take a good fight or two. So with all that said and done, guys, let's go ahead and jump in here. We're passing through the forests. It's a little spooky. And that's interesting. Our guy is actually skirting the woods. So we're at 10 brothers. Our ambition is to have 12. And upon completing this ambition, we'll get kind of a huge morale boost. Oh, what is this? Many brigand raiders and a leader. I don't think we'll take that fight. We'll keep note of where it is and potentially come back for it. This is a fight, once we're around 12 guys and decently equipped, we could take that fight. But I think if we take it now, we'll end up losing a brother or two. We'll probably win, to be honest, just out of sheer like range superiority. But we'll probably lose a brother or two along the way. And not worth it, because it's no guarantee. So this is a fight we could probably take. Let's try it. This is dangerous. And there's some brigands here. I would much rather take that fight. But let's try this. Many brigand raiders. We fought raiders in the last video, and we did okay. There were a few scary moments. And so this is how many? 7. 7 raiders, and we're in a kind of a weird high ground, low ground position. We want to get the heck up here. We do not want to fight these guys from this position. And unfortunately, all of their non-shielded dudes are on the other side. So let's pass here, and we'll start to rotate. How far can we get? Okay, we want to take this high ground position and force them to come to us. But there are a lot of scary weapons on this side of the battlefield. This could have been a mistake. I was expecting maybe 5 or 6, but that is not what we're getting here. Yeah, let's make a little spear box. We'll move him that away. Can we make it up there? We cannot. Okay. Hungry 2-timer. Good luck. This is a pretty scary engagement. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We need to see if we can come out of this alive. %. We don't want to shoot at a kite shield. They are very missile resistant. Nice. That was a big shot. So slowly but surely we're taking the high ground. And we are also putting the low grounds to our sides, and we can have these things like the boulders and such, funneling them into the front lines. So he made it into the front lines with his hatchet, which is kind of rough for us because you see there he managed to do some serious damage to our shield. They are all very dangerous. We'll take a shot at the guy with the worst armor. And we'll take a shot there, and we can riposte. And if he tries to hit us again, we will we'll hit him. But we need to get up front, and we need a spear wall like ASAP. We don't want to let a two-handed hammer get into our front lines. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we're hitting down on this guy. So the odds were that we would end up being able to make something happen. Let's see if we can kill him. God, we couldn't. Okay. Just put damage. Let's just get damage going. Whenever we see the opportunity. Yeah, expected that. Nice that we don't have to worry about him. And I think we're going to need to plug this gap here with Hondo. And we could also summon our War Dog. But if we summon him, we could put him back here, and then he would have to run around, which is kind of pointless. And I think if we drop him here, we're really just giving these two dudes a target, when what we want is for them to run into our spear wall. If we can kill 2 or 3 of them before the battle even starts, we'll be in great position. Not going to shield wall, just because I don't want to wear out my guys before we actually make this happen. So he pulled out javelins. Well, nice play from him, because we are technically on lower ground than he is. And, yeah, that's rough. Okay. I think we're going to take a shot on him. Nice. And we want to take out this raider. We got him. And you'll see there the morale is starting to fall apart on these guys. Of course, we'll take more shots. Ooh, Hondo took a big shot there. Lost his helmet. And we're losing our helmets kind of left and right. Good cut. Ooh, unfortunate. So he's now running, and he made it into combat with us. So I think we're going to come up here, take a shot on this guy. He was blocked. Can we move anymore? We can. So let's get even further out of the way. There we go. Okay, I think it's time to unleash the hounds. Nice. Okay. So all of our enemies are to this side of us. We can attempt to try and stonewall them up here, but unfortunately, I mean, we're just too engaged in melee, and once these other two wrap around, they have very scary tier 2 weapons. Without a helmet, I mean, Green Phobe is looking pretty out of luck. Fortunately for us, actually, they're just trying to wrap all the way around to get to our archers, which I really don't care about. And Green Phobe, I think he just lost his shield, so that is not good. We can get Scaredy up here. Man, missing those shots is awful. But now we need to start trying to help out down here. 37% shot, 65. We'll take the 65. Big armor piercing. And we can try to knock him back to remove his... There we go. So that stops him from using like shield wall, and potentially we can get this raider off of Green Phobe. Just taking the best shots we can. So if we're able to knock him back, we might be able to... Nah, we weren't. So let's shield wall. Okay, come on, big hits. No. Perhaps should have gone for his shield. But in my experience, I mean, just a single hit there, and we'd have been in business. Nice, nice. We got a pierced chest. Oh, Hondo took a big shot. We can't get him out of combat quite yet. Wow, the dog took him down, and we're going to get that mace, which is nice. But now think we need to try and push him back, and we did. Great. Okay, okay. We're still in business, guys. We're not out of this yet. Bernfried is the solid for a reason. We're going to send him in combat. Reload. And take a shot on this raider down here. Nice. And we got another one of those maces. So, very good. And we can bring Guntbert down here, and then we'll have our two best shield bros in the front. I don't like putting him on the low ground, but if we put him here, and he steps up, he'll be able to take shots at Edgel. And this is, at the end of the day, this is just even footing as far as battling goes. And we'll take a shot down there. We did not hit. Man, if we could just kill one of these guys, that would be something. Ooh, this is a nerve-wracking fight. We want to leave Hondo as far away from the fighting as possible. Ooh. Okay. We're close here. We're getting close. Let's move in and try and take him down. No luck. And we don't have enough fatigue to shield wall. Oh. We have to hold here. If we can help it, we really don't want to lose anybody. Alright, the dog with a big hit. And see if we can knock him back. And we can. Awesome. So we'll step forward here. And yes, we're breaking this raider. Excellent. So if we can kill this dude, we may not be in danger anymore of losing a brother. Which is all I care about. No man should die this day. Can we hit him? I don't think we can. Okay. Do we have any lines of sight on anyone? No, we don't. Okay. So we need to step up. And I think now we can hit. Let's use our terrain. We can take a shot on this brigand here, who is the only real threat left. Hondo, you chill where you are, buddy. Wow. We're just not able to get through their kind of their superior stats and armor. Nice. So he tried to run and he got taken out. And we have a bunch of exhausted brothers now. We can't get him out of there. Our war dog has done some work for us. Nice. So him shield walling is actually good for us. We can get Ercil, give him a shot. Come on, one of these has got to kill. And let's see, we cannot see anything. We can knock him back and try and break his shield wall, which didn't work. Now we just go for the stab. Can't reload and shoot anymore because of fatigue. And a nice shot there. We just really need to start putting damage on him. At the very least, we're making him exhausted, so he won't be able to do 2 actions a turn very soon. And this is getting a little annoying with the terrain. Would love to be able to use the poison, but it's not going to be the case here. And we want to get Green Phobe away from this battle now. And we do it. Almost dead. He is fleeing. So Aracel is going to get the final kill. I like it. And our War Dog has no fear and is going to get in there and get a big hit. So, man, Scary the Blind has no helmet. So moving him into, let's say, we can put him here behind the tree. And we can move in Aracel. And if our dog goes down, he can step up. It's a little worrisome because his shield is in poor condition. Nice. We want to get as many injuries on this dude as we possibly can. So we can take a 26% chance shot. We didn't get it. We have a dagger here, but I think are we 2 higher than he is? Yeah, we're 2 higher. So if we pull out our dagger, we won't be able to do anything from this position. So we need to leave him. Shield wall, and that's it. That's all he can do because he is exhausted. So because we can only do 1 action, let's take an aimed shot. And we didn't get it. Okay. We need to move our crossbowman in range. Is this in range? Yes. Nice. And the crossbowman is the one we really needed on him. So we pierced his hand. And we did a ton of damage to him. So let's call that. So Guntbert's here. And he gets the kill. Amazing. We did it, guys. I don't think we're going to take on that second group. We have too many injuries. And too many broken pieces of armor. But man, we got 3 levels. And some awesome loot. So copper ingots are something that we can trade for a decent amount of money. We picked up a lot of food, 380 crowns, and a signet ring, which is pretty much just free to sell. You just straight up sell this, no big deal. And 27 tools, which is almost like 300 gold worth of tools. If we were to buy this ourselves, it would cost us more than that. We picked up a kite shield, an early kite shield, and 2 decent helmets. And 3 morning stars, which are super expensive. Well, they're very expensive for where we are in the game. And a flail, which is super expensive. 680 is what that's worth. And a hand axe. So we just upgraded like our entire front line. We may need to just not have spears for a minute, because these weapons are so much more, they're so much superior to the weapons we're currently rocking. So that fight just kind of single-handedly saved us. And maybe we can come back and kill these brigands with our new, better gear. So who do we want to live? So, Aracel, since you are cool, how much fatigue do you have? You have a decent amount of fatigue. Who's kind of rocking our best fatigue here? It's probably you. Okay. Aracel, you're going to take the best helmet. So right now you have pretty much our second best armor, our best helmet, and one of our best weapons. And we're also going to give you the kite shield. Yeah, your fatigue can totally handle it. And yeah, you're kitted out, man. So congrats on that. And Hondo, you're going to get the mail. So you're in like a full mail suit now, which is nice. And we're going to keep you with the axe for now. And we can just give you a non-broken helmet. We just have so much broken gear. So that battle was rough, and honestly, it could have gone south pretty fast. I don't think there was any scenario where we lose that battle, but there are definitely many scenarios that could have broken down where we just straight up died. So we have 2 falchions? Okay. So we can get a super, like, beat down squad here. The flail is 25 to 55, and has an increased chance to hit head. Okay. Wait, one of these guys, Guntbert. Guntbert, we're going to keep him with the spear. This is a tier 2 spear. This is a boar spear. That's not bad. We also could use the hand axe. I like having the kind of variety. It's almost like we have one of each thing. And now we can look to sell off the Morning Stars. So, let's see if I remember how to do this. It's Alt. Okay. So we want to repair these. Repairing super cheap equipment and then selling it isn't worth it because the tools are so expensive, you're not really getting your money back. But when you're repairing something that's worth hundreds and hundreds of gold, like let's say this flail here, it's worth it. You repair it and then you sell it and you make a profit on your tools and a better profit on the flail itself. So we're going to repair these two. And did we lose any shields? I know we had one broken shield, nearly broken shield, but we replaced it with a kite shield. So you'll see here a kite shield has 15 and 25 as far as its melee and range defense, and as opposed to 15 and 15. So 10 more range defense, and it has double the durability. It is 6 more fatigue, but Arasil can handle it because he does have excellent fatigue stats. So let's go ahead and level up our brothers. Burnfree the Solid is now going to have Shield Expert. So having increased melee defense and range defense will complement his ridiculous amount of HP quite nicely. And unfortunately we got a terrible melee attack and melee defense roll. That's awful. So we'll just take this again. And very soon we're going to be in a position where if we just keep getting ones, we're just going to have to take them. Otherwise he'll end up being very tanky, but not really able to kill much, and then we'll be forced to use him as a spear bro, which doesn't really require much skill. So we'll give him Colossus. That's 14 HP. We'll take a 3 melee defense all day long. He absolutely has to have higher resolve. And man, 6 initiative. With 3 stars in initiative, we could honestly make him some sort of... Let's see what those rolls were again. He has 3 in archery. His star in archery, his archery is very low. But if he lives long enough, we could make him a dual pike / crossbowman character. And if we're going to do that, we want to start putting points in it now. So we would do something like this. And we take a 6 there, and then eventually the idea is to get him dodge. And we can keep him in slightly worse armor to make sure his fatigue is always good. And I think this is nice. Once these stats are both about 60, that's really all you need in order to be somewhat accurate. And if you're able to get something like fast adaptation, you generally don't miss very often. And quick hands to allow him to pull out the pike. And basically his job will be to sit on the edge of our backside of our formation. And if anyone gets around, he'll whip out a pike and get into melee and have decent melee stats. So I think this is nice. We just kind of need to remember that's what we want to do with him. Otherwise we could end up like misappropriating stats further down the line. So here on Bad Eye's Crown Pincher, we're going to get Crippling Strikes first. Put 3 points into our range. He desperately needs resolve. You can't have anyone in the 20s on your team. You just can't. Getting a little bit of melee defense wouldn't be bad, but we're not going to do it here. We're going to take 3 fatigue and call that good. Alright, so we're going to come down to the city. We're going to sell off some things, hopefully, and heal up. And then maybe we'll just come back, depending on what our quest we may get. We'll come back and see if we can't just take out those raiders. So what I think happened was, those raiders were probably a part of this group, and they left, like right before we got there. And we were able to kind of fight a divided force, which was excellent for us. So let's see what the quest here is. A man of some import. Okay, what do you need? To venture that way and try and find the forgotten mass grave. Sure. Let's see if they'll pay us more. So they're going to give us 60 crowns in advance. and 230 when the job is done. Very low paying quest, but we're not in a great position to haggle. Just kind of quickly check these for decent gear. So they have tier 2 crossbows and the final heavy crossbow, which is excellent. We're almost out of ammunition again, and the prices here seem to be decent. So I'm going to go ahead and sell the signet ring as well as the copper ingots. And maybe a shield or two. And we want to get ourselves some gold because I'm looking at actually just getting 2 more cheap brothers and throwing them in. So they have tons of peat bricks used as fuel. Okay, I know what peat is, and I know it's not like a building material by any means. I don't think there's any kind of event that revolves around someone wanting to buy that from us. But the ammunition here is actually cheaper in the marketplace than it is in the Fletcher. So that's good to know for any of you guys playing along at home. And some better helmets, which I think we're going to pick up both of these. And let's see. A militia spear. We don't need any more spears. We have a surplus of spears and wooden shields now that we are equipped with tons of tier 2 weapons. So we can actually sell off the ones that are repaired the most. And we can also get rid of this broken shield. We don't want to waste tools repairing that. And we'll look to pick up 2 more brothers here in a moment. Let's see. Do we still have dudes without helmets? No, because they're repairing the crummy ones that we have. Alright, let's see what kind of brothers we can get before we buy any gear. I was hoping to get the 2-handed mallet that I saw. So look at this guy. This guy is a sword master with an incredible hat. I have pretty serious hat envy right now. He comes 5 levels up, but look how much he costs. Jesus. The slow. He's a flagellant. This guy is cheap. I mean, we wanted cheap. Monks have high resolve and can make like good early game sergeants. Baldwin the Seeker. Okay. And Volker the Old. So this guy is a retired soldier. Retired soldiers make excellent sergeants. They generally have weaker stats in some areas because, you know, they're older guys, but they have super high resolve because they've kind of been there and done that. But I think what we're looking for here is to take we're going to take Ragnar the Slow, for those of you who like Vikings, or oh god dang, what's the name of that show? I just finished watching the 3rd season. I can't remember the name of it. All I can remember right now is Uhtred, son of Uhtred. Anyway, Ragnar. We're going to take him. I think here if we buy this guy, we're paying for this flail. And I'm not about to pay like 300 gold for a flail that I don't want. So we're going to hire him. Let's read his background. Always a man to devour books, it wasn't long until Ragnar discovered texts of the gods. After raiders looted the coffers of his church, Ragnar's quest was to refill the pure purses. Talks of the gods might be a tad irksome, but Ragnar's fiery passion lends itself well to the battlefield. He's super cheap. Let's see what you got, Ragnar. You may have something good. So he's dumb. Ugh. So dumb's not the worst thing, because we're going to counter that when he levels with student anyway. And then at the end of the day, it'll be a net positive of 5% experience gain. And his background of flagellant. He has 2 stars in ranged. Come on. And no stars in anything relevant in melee. So, buddy, you're going to have a hard time surviving, I feel like. You may not make it. And do we dare take the monk? Grimold. Ragnar. What can we name you? I like the slow. You're definitely the slow. we may not need to change your name. That actually seems pretty appropriate. And I think we take the monk just for his pure cheapness. One of these days we'll get lucky and we'll hire someone who's just like ridiculous. So he's a bleeder. Okay. Super high range defense, which isn't necessary. Super high resolve. And just mediocre stats everywhere else. Honestly, not as bad as it could be. Let's hook him up. Thankfully, we just picked up all these awesome weapons. So, let's move our formation over a tad. And yeah, so our front line is kind of just a meat grinder of tier 2 weapons now. And we need a little bit of armor. And we're going to need more food now to help feed our hungry soldiers. We need more ammunition. Let's get a little bit extra while we're here. We can pick up another padded leather. And we'll grab these 2 helmets. If we could take out those raiders again now with even increased numbers, that might be great. We might be able to get even more solid gear. We need to sell this. We need one more kind of padded leather-esque tier thing. So actually, no. We want to give our better brothers the better helmets. So Burnfried gets the better helmet. And who else do we have? Our 2 best melee fighters have decent helmets. That's a 20. That's awful. Let's at least give you a 30. And you can rock the headscarf for now. But we do need to pick up another Gambeson. So let's grab him the damaged one. Okay, I mean, that's not awful. They're about as well equipped as we were when we went into that raider fight. We just need to make sure we have plenty of food and gold. And we don't have a ton of gold, so we're going to have to sell off some of our stuff. We need to get up to at least 3 days worth of provisions, and we haven't quite hit that mark yet. I really didn't want to sell this, but let's go ahead and do it. It's going to put us over that mark, because now we have to try. Okay, at Brookstadt, a man approaches the company. Comes with us with a proposition spoken low and quiet. If you go out and find the forgotten mass grave, come to us first. The rules of Brookstadt need not bring their greed and lust for power to that place. Leave it to us, alright? We'll pay you well. So he leaves before saying a word. So this is pretty common. Alright, and our ambition is fulfilled. So I was going to say it's pretty common sometimes that you get an alternative path to do down the quest. And it can lead you to some pretty unexpected, sometimes good, sometimes bad areas. And I hesitate to do it usually, because what they offer usually is they dangle some kind of shiny extra gold or gems or something in front of you, and you take it and you're like, wow, I just made a huge profit on this easy quest. But then the city you just got the quest from, they hate you. And it can take a long time to rebuild that. So I usually tend to just go ahead and give the quest to the appropriate person. So stand tall, brothers. People can see this is a real mercenary company now and not a handful of wandering vagabonds. And now our spirits are up. We've gained some renown. And good. So where's that quest? Find forgotten around the regions of Nordlands to the east. Do we really have to like straight up find this place? Interesting. Okay, well, we weren't paused, so we were kind of wasting a bit of time there. But let's go. And we'll be healing up. We still have some very injured soldiers. We need to find this place quickly. And we found it. Okay, nice. So they want us to return. Okay, so I think here we're going to take this fight. And this is going to be our first fight with this type of unit. How hurt are you still, Hondo? Hondo's pretty injured. And so is Green Phobe. So we can put them in reserve. And he's just lightly wounded. So if we had more gold, let's camp for a bit. Hopefully we'll use some of our bandages. And we can afford to camp for just a moment. And there we go. So it's afternoon. Let's see if we've healed up a little bit. Just a bit. And so Scarity's not hurt anymore. That was probably worth it. Hondo we're going to keep in reserve where he is. We could actually take him out completely, but I want him to get experience from this fight. And the way Legionnaires work, there's many of them, and they don't have archers essentially, so we're not at risk of just losing someone. I'm actually pretty curious. I don't really understand why they don't want us to engage this place. Let's go and get our gold first. Maybe they'll give us another quest to come and take this out. I don't think that's how it'll work. But if they don't give us another quest, we'll just come right back and take them out for the loot. So yeah, he's going to give us 200 extra gold. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with our employer. And we insult the heck out of him for crying. Not very nice. And let's see what our quest here is. You're that mercenary people have been wondering about. The most dangerous of prey. Okay. What do you want? An audacious act of thievery. Someone stole his idol of fertility. So this is a quest I've done many a time. Let's accept the offer. And we need to follow the track south. So here we go. Alright, so we get an option to get another ambition. So visit every single settlement. We've almost done that, I feel. I don't think we've been to every settlement in the south. And I feel like it's going to be a while before we get a standard, but I really want to get a standard. The thing is, if we gather 2,000 crowns, they take the 2,000 crowns. So it could leave us in a really bad position in the early game if we manage to save up this much gold and then they take it. So I think we're going to spread the word far and wide and see if we can't get that done, and then maybe the next ambition will be to save 2,000, and by then we'll be much closer to the mid game. So this is just a bunch of thugs. I'm not nearly as worried about thugs as I was about raiders. We're also fighting at night, which is a little bad, but we still have the ranged advantage. Fighting them in the forest means that there's going to be lots of choke points. We just have such superior gear at this point. And let's cut them off here. We don't want them to take any kind of high ground. Move up a bit. And he's healed up nicely, but I still don't, there's no reason to engage there. And we can take an aim shot for 43%. There we go. One less bad guy to worry about. We'll move up there, no high ground for you. And this is why I kind of I wait my turn. I don't necessarily just pass. And because it gives me the option to do this, to kind of creep forward, see where they're moving, and engage like that. We don't want to stand anywhere near this high ground. We'll let them have that. and we'll sit right there comfortably. And we can bring him all the way around to help Hondo kind of defend this flank. And if they do get up and around, we can always drop a Warhound. Yeah, we'll move one down here. And that's fine. Yeah, we expected him to step up there. We really want to start getting some better helmets. It's kind of our biggest weakness right now. Nice. Huge shot. Perfect. He tried to stun us. Luckily for us, it didn't work. We'll wait turn there. And we're taking a nice flat engagement. And once we're able to get a kill, we'll poke a nice hole in their lines. We could rush forward and take this high ground, or we could step forward one and bop this guy on the head with Lash. Let's try that. So that's a new thing for us. We broke his helmet and we nearly killed him. Lash has a 100% chance to hit the head, and it does a ton of damage. So when you're hitting a guy with weak head armor or no head armor, you want to focus down their head by using the attacks that you may have that can do that. So he has the hand axe, Burnfree does, and that's a really powerful weapon for us to have this early. Alright, Phoenix, let's get in there. So we've got them all locked down now. We can bring Hondo up one. So we have the chance, we can hit him on the head. Try and stun him. He doesn't have a helmet, but I think we're just going to bash. Nice, good hit. Perfect. That was a lot of damage. And now we're going to get on this high ground. And they're all locked down. So easy fight. Famous last words before one of the guys just like chunks us in the head. Yeah, with a flail or something. I said that once before in this playthrough and it punished me dearly. So we'll take the kills where we can get them. Nice. Sometimes getting a kill on a weak character is more important than putting a little bit of damage on a strong character, and you kind of have to decide for yourself when that's true. The opportunity to deal morale penalties across an entire army is oftentimes like just too good to pass up. It also lowers their overall DPS and the chances that they could do something tricky. Okay, we missed both shots there. Hondo, no reason to engage with you yet. You're going to be a powerhouse in the late game, but you're not there yet. And you've taken some rough blows for the company. And we tried to double Lash. But he does have his shield wall up. But if we would have hit him on the head, we'd have killed him for sure. And we don't want to throw out the dog because we don't want to risk him dying. Yeah, and there's the last guy. We were kind of waiting to see where he was. Nice, and a decapitation should scare the ever-loving heck out of that guy. We can't shoot yet. Maybe he'll move up closer to us and we can take a shot. Nice. We'll move Hondo back to defend. Perfect. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised if this dude tries to run. But we may be able to actually catch him. Okay. You can take this high ground. Can we get to him? Yeah, if he can't reach him, then I don't think we can reach him at all. If he chooses to run now, we can't chase him down. We still have to see if that poison's worth it. And whether or not it is considered a consumable, even though I'm pretty sure it's not. But I want to use it in like a raider fight. On the off chance that it is a consumable, I don't want to have completely wasted it. So if he runs here, we're just going to let them go. There's no way we can catch them. If our War Dog was on the field, the War Dogs are very good at... yeah, we can move forward here, place our War Dog, and let's see if the War Dog can catch him. We also don't have sight, which is rough. Let's just pass. We're not going to catch him. I think there's a way to like pass all. They've changed a bit how the turns progress, and I think they've also changed how you retreat. I don't usually have to retreat, so I'm not sure exactly how those changes are going to affect us. But just some spare loot. Collect our pay. We didn't get a single level off of that, which is unfortunate. But I think we're going to save the Forgotten Massgrave for the next episode, guys. It's a new enemy type for those of you who've never played this game before. It's the Ancient Auxiliaries, who are kind of like, imagine undead Roman legionnaires. And in the early game, they're not too bad. We have a ton of weapons which are really good against them. These maces. They kind of just like bash them. So skeletons are very resilient to archer fire. The arrows do almost nothing to them. We can take down their armor if they even have any, but once their armor goes down, the arrows don't do anything. So you then have to switch to your hand weapons, pikes and things like that, and that's very effective against them. But bashing type weapons, flails, maces, even the swords and axes aren't bad. Big axes. So by the time we fight them, Hondo should be pretty well healed. He has a broken nose. We have 2 broken noses. So they should be pretty well healed, and we should be good to go there. And we have gold now. We're not in danger of running out. We have 3 days worth of provisions. We can't afford to sell all this junk and nonsense. And our items are still here if we had wanted to buy them back, but look how expensive they are. Yeah, honestly, I want to fight more beasts, guys. I want to fight dire wolves and spiders and things like that. It's kind of my favorite things to fight thematically in this game. Let's go ahead and pause it. Yeah, no additional quests. But, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We took on a pretty tough raider fight for where we are in the game. We have a ton of brothers. I mean, we made it up to 12 really fast. I prioritized getting cheap, honestly, very terrible brothers just to get to that ambition. And time will tell whether or not that was a mistake, but we're so numerically superior to a lot of the fights we'll be taking in the early game that we should be able to compensate for having worse gear. There's definitely 2 ways to go with this. We could have stuck around 7, 8 brothers and spent a lot of our gold and a lot of our time focusing trying to get to tier 2 armor. You know, instead of buying 3 padded leathers to outfit our 10th, 11th, and 12th brother, we could have bought chainmail, which is kind of like a mid-tier armor, and then boom, you know. So now we have 7 level, 5 hardened brothers with maybe a little bit better backgrounds and better gear, as opposed to having 12 honestly somewhat crappy brothers with decent early game gear. And now I mean, honestly, we have great tier 2 weaponry. But so there's definitely different play styles there that you could choose if you're playing at home and you're wondering if the way that I play is like the only way to play. It's not. There's so many different ways to play this game, and I try and play it a bit differently every time I play, so the game never feels stale for me. And that's one of the beauties of this game. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be excited to see you in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I've gotten quite a few subscribers off of this series already. And when I say quite a few, I mean like 4 or 5. But for me, that's quite a few, and that has me hyped. I was already excited to play this game, just in my personal time. But now I'm excited to play it, to grow my channel. And yeah, if you do subscribe, be sure to leave a comment telling me name suggestion, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, either or. We now have 2 new brothers who don't have silly names. And, well, I mean, honestly, Ragnar, I want to keep him the slow. if you have a name suggestion for Ragnar the Slow, whatever it is, I'm going to keep the Slow. For sure. And who else did we get? We picked up one more brother, Grimold. So, yeah, just let me know, guys. So without any further ado, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one, and we will pick up fighting some ancient legionnaires. So thank you, guys, and have a good day.